let's talk about some of the goals for the Richland School District this year as we start the 2023 to 2024 school semester.
Yes, we're so excited for this school year. We have some great things that we've brought on board for the Richland School District, better communication with families through a new app. And so that's a goal to get that fully implemented. Also, we've kicked off our bilingual program, and so K-1 at Tapta Elementary. And then we're implementing all our safety and security upgrades that the voters supported. So those are some of the big areas we're focusing on this school year.
The dual language in the elementary school is something I hope to see later on this school year, because the other school districts in the area have bilingual programs. And why is it important for Richland to kind of hop on this train and join them?
Yes, it's long overdue. We're kind of late to the game in this region, and it's just real important to offer many opportunities and programs for all of our students that live in Richland, so they don't feel they need to go to a different location to get the education that we want. So our goal is to grow that program, and Taptil is a really good spot for us to do that. We have two amazing teachers, and so it's a really good experience for our students.
Do you believe that the diversity in our region is growing?
Absolutely, and we have so many different languages now. So the goal would be to have some other bilingual programs. We do a seal of biliteracy at the high school level if you graduate with more than one language. And so we're really trying to celebrate the diversity of languages in our whole community. That was one of the reasons we moved to a new communication tool for families called Parent Square, is it can interpret in 120 different languages. So we tend to have a lot of different languages rather than just one that dominates. I mean, we have a lot of different languages.
What would you say some of the challenges facing the Richland School District is this year?
I would say, just continuing to monitor and make sure that we're implementing all of our safety procedures consistently. We want to continue to be very proactive and preventative with our safety and security. So continuing to do training on safety measures and that safety culture in the Richland School District, and then we'll be implementing all the new renovations that the voters supported us with in terms of the capital projects levy to make sure to keep our buildings even safer, that single point of entry.
I feel like something that's impacting a lot of students and staff is kind of this nationwide trend of scary stuff happening in school districts, school shootings, swatting incidents. It's kind of scary to be a student right now.
Yeah, and student or staff member, and oftentimes very scary for families and parents. So again, the Parent Square app, what we were finding is that it was taking about 10 minutes for emergency messages to go out to all of our families, and that's just too long. And so our new program is much quicker. Again, it has 120 different languages as well. But that will really help as well, because parents want to know right away what's going on and then keep them up to date, as well as our students and staff. They need to know exactly what is happening. And then also just if you see something, say something, just that old adage, and that really is a big deterrent. Also, we have excellent relationships with our police departments. Both West Richland and Richland Police Departments are extremely supportive, and we share costs for SROs. And just that added individual that's really there, that's really being preventative and proactive. And then all of our administrators have been trained in things to watch for and who to call, and we've really updated our emergency procedures for that reason.
I think you started just after COVID started?
Yes, that was an interesting time to start back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you know, I was a teacher at Jefferson for many years, principal at Sacagawea, and then was teaching and learning director for about 8 years. So this is home. I love Richland. So, it was challenging to come back and start back in Richland as superintendent with COVID, but I care so deeply about this community and the staff and the families that that made it easier, because it was always putting the people first and making sure we're taking good care of everybody and keeping people safe. Yeah.
How would you say COVID affected teachers in the Richland School District?
It was a scary time for everyone, just something unprecedented. Just, there was something eerie about it that, you didn't see people out and about and the buildings were empty. And it was really tough on our teachers because they had to pivot constantly. New regulations came out and new guidelines like weekly. So they just get used to, okay, this is how we're going to, especially when we came back, do the chairs. Oh no, now we're going to do this. And so they had to pivot constantly, and I think that really added to the stress, but they were amazing through it all. We were one of the first districts in our state to come back, with the students to come back and our staff, and that was really a tribute to our staff, really wanting to collaborate, work together, and do what it took to get them back, get everyone back.
Would you say that the pandemic made school districts, the education system, kind of better at adapting and changing?
Absolutely, because we were pivoting so much. We learned a lot of lessons, what doesn't work, and then we worked to improve. It really sent a message for all of us that students need to be in school. They need to feel that human connection. It can't just be all remote. The importance of that human connection. So we learned a lot from that. And again, just, you always think, oh, that, but then to actually live it, that was a valuable lesson.
Gotcha. And how do you think COVID impacted students? Very broad, very general, many ways, but how would you say that it's impacted students?
Oh, it's still impacting them. My son was a junior and then a senior in the Spokane area, and it was really hard on him. So I got to see it as a mother firsthand, especially missing out on so many things in high school. And then just the learning loss. He is in college now and doing well, but it was a really hard transition. And I found that as I talked to my students here in Richland, I have a student advisory group, and they share still the mental health struggles as well as getting caught up because of the lost time there. So we're doing everything we can to make sure our students feel supported, loved, supported, and help them get on the right track.
Gotcha. And would you say that learning loss gap is slowly getting better?
I would say yes. Our data shows that we're really closing that gap from years past. Mathematics still continues to be an area, because that's so many building blocks. So we're doing a lot of things in the classrooms to make sure that students, assessing where are their gaps, and then making sure that we address those.
Would you say that we also saw just kind of like an emotional disconnect with students based on going remote?
Oh, absolutely. Colleges, like you said, as a lot of, the dropout rate was really high in colleges because they were still continuing to go remote as well. And so, yeah, just this real social disconnect. And so everyone's learning how to work together again, come to work, come to school, and how we interact. We're fortunate. We just adopted a new curriculum, social emotional learning curriculum, that's consistent throughout our whole district. And so we're hoping that also will help with those connections. We're having to reteach, okay, this is how you interact with someone when you're angry or when you're excited, and how do you self-regulate? And so those are some of the key areas.
I've seen a big push for mental health
Yes.
Resources with, I think everybody, but especially with teenagers. Have you seen this represented through the school district?
Yes, very much so. And again, those connections with an adult is critical. And so that we're hoping that over time those will continue to get better. But that connection with an adult is the key.
Gotcha. And would you say that this was caused in some way by the pandemic? Would you say that it's always been there, but now we're focusing on it more? Do we know?
It was amplified. There's a lot of data out there that it was already starting to be a bigger issue than ever before, but then it just got amplified. And the resources we weren't able to, excuse me, we weren't able to go and help the students because they couldn't come in. Everything was so remote, even doctors. But I do think now that we're recognizing it and we are more preventative again, that we're going to see some real improvements.
Gotcha. Is there any physical way that we've been able to address mental health care in the school districts more?
Yes, we have hired some mental health therapists that actually work with families and with students within the school. schools. And then we also have Hazel Health that we partner with, and they have a mental health component, and they can do counseling sessions because the waiting list for counseling in our region could be months out. And so this is a free opportunity for our students. It's a partnership with Hazel Health. I know Pasco utilizes it also, and it is being utilized now, and we think that really helps because it's immediate. It isn't a 6-month wait to talk with someone.
Has the Richland School Board recall impacted your day-to-day as the superintendent at all, and all that stuff that's going along with it?
We're always about focus on the school district, focus on school business, focus on operating the school district. So through all of that, staff, we just kept our nose to the grindstone, and we're just like, we are here for our kids, whatever we need to do to support our kids. So I told staff, stay out of the fray. You need to do the work that you do day to day to love our kids, teach our kids.
Gotcha. And has it impacted you at all?
It's been, whenever you have a lot of change, right? Change is hard. And so that consistency is important as a superintendent. You want that consistency. So I look forward to having consistency as we move forward.
Have there been discussions across the Richland School District about artificial intelligence and how it impacts teachers, grading, that sort of thing, or about students using artificial intelligence?
So things always are changing, and so we do have some policy work that we're working on. We're looking at the model policies from Olympia, and that's from WASDA, the School Directors Association, gives us kind of model policies, a template, and so that's one of them we're looking at and updating, getting feedback from all of our constituents, specifically our secondary teachers, because they're the ones that will see it more. But we have amazing students in the Richland School District, and they want to learn and become better people. And so, I don't think we're at high alert, but it's definitely something we need to create policies and have that around before it becomes an issue.
Teacher shortages on my list as well, which I don't know if we're facing in the Richland School District. I do know that Washington treats their teachers very well. So
Yes, you're ranked very high. Yes. I actually think the last I looked were like 1 or 2 in terms of good places to work for teachers. So that's good. That, like you said, we love our teachers, and so in Richland, we're very fortunate. Well, this whole region, it's an amazing place to live, learn. We're growing, and we're finding more and more. It's the best place to raise a family as you look around the country, around the state. And so for us, for most of our positions still, especially at the elementary level, we still have like 70 applicants per person. So we definitely don't have a shortage there. But some of our secondary positions are real specialized, like some of our CTE, career technical education courses, which are very specialized. We still have a good pool of applicants, but it's not 70. So we still need people to drive buses. So if you want to drive a bus, come to Richland. And then the other is paraprofessionals, and then substitutes. We always need substitutes. So teachers that aren't able to start with us this year, we encourage to do that. That's a good way to get your name out there and to show the principals what you can do and how good you are. So we encourage. That's how I started. I subbed and substituted, and then I landed my job at Jefferson Elementary.
I don't have any more questions. Is there any other topic that you think is important to address in terms of heading into the school year, things parents are looking into, any concerns or?
I think we hit everything. I think one thing that we're trying to do more this year that we've been trying since the pandemic is engaging our families more, having more opportunities so we had a big parent kickoff for our Character Strong adoption, and still we didn't have a lot in person, but 70 joined. We streamed it, and it's still available, and people are still watching it. Shauna monitors that, and we still have a lot of people checking in and watching that. Then we have an upcoming parent night for our high-cap families, highly capable families. We have an expert coming from Whitworth to help families on what does it mean to be highly capable. So we're going to continue these series for families, and we're looking forward to that.